Derek Jacobi as Brother Cadfael in One Corpse Too Many. Shrewsbury, 1138. And it seemed as if the civil war for the crown of England between King Stephen and the Empress Maud had come to rest here, outside the castle gates of the rebels, Arnulf of Hesdin, Aidney, and Fitzalan. It was therefore with some relief that Courcelle, King Stephen's officer of the guard, mounted his steed and rode towards the castle gates bearing news from the king.
Let the king's messenger pass!
The rebels lowered the heavy drawbridge, and Courcelle rode, with a certain confidence born perhaps of one who knew he had chosen the victor's side, into the rebel stronghold.
My lords, a deputation has come from Stephen's camp to parley.
Courcelle halted beneath the castle keep, where Arnulf looked down on him with defiance in his eyes.
Arnulf of Hesdin, I am charged by His Grace King Stephen to demand your immediate surrender.
Let the bastard rent all he will. We do not kneel before thieves and usurpers.
You took an oath, all of you. You all swore allegiance to His Grace.
We stand as we did. For Empress Maud, rightful Queen of England.
You cannot hold forever.
Come then, dig us out.
In God's name, hasn't there been enough slaughter? Yield now. Deliver the rebels Aidney and Fitzalan into the king's hands, and you may yet be spared.
You have our answer, Courcelle. Run back to the villain you serve, and pray that he receives your report kindly.
But later, King Stephen held council with his advisors in his camp beneath the castle walls, and he was in no mood for kindness.
I shall tear Arnold's tongue from his head myself. I give them land, position. Fitzalan I created Sheriff of Salop. And now they sit in a castle, my castle, in this miserable dunghill of a town, and pour scorn on me.
Lord King, it is time to strike terror.
So you have said, Captain Tenhate, yet still, we are here and they are there.
I promise. What we have planned for the morning will get your grace into Shrewsbury.
Honour that promise, Prescott, and the office of sheriff is yours.
But that night, the rebels within the castle gathered for what they knew might be the final time.
Be assured, Arnulf, we'll not run and leave you to face Stephen alone. Aidney has already got his daughter safely away. She'll be taken to the Abbey tomorrow. But my treasury, that must now be got to the Empress Maud in France at all costs. It contains enough silver and jewelry to raise an army 10 times Stephen's strength.
My lord?
All eyes turned to Giles Siward. The young soldier stepped forward, anxious it seemed to be of service.
I will undertake the mission.
No, Giles. We will need every soldier here tomorrow. I've chosen 2 squires to make the run. They're completely unknown in this county.
And how will they know where to find your treasure?
The town butcher, Edric Flesher, remains loyal. You'll escort them to Frankwell and show them where it's hidden. They can rest out the day there and make the run to Wales under cover of darkness.
And who are these lads?
The lads were Torold Blund and Nicholas Faintree. And as they stepped into the room, they were unaware of the look Giles Siward threw in their direction. A look of intense scrutiny. And so it was that later that night, the guards around King Stephen's camp were to receive an unexpected visitor, Giles Siward.
Halt! Who comes up on the watch?
My name is Giles Siward. I beg an audience with the king. I'm from the rebel garrison.
Sergeant Rees, the battle-scarred veteran of many a campaign, eyed the young man shrewdly, and then nodded to his man.
Take him to the officer of the watch.
The next morning, the dawn broke slowly through the mist and the lazy smoke from the soldiers' camp fires. But the king's army had been awake for many hours, and preparations for the final attack were already well underway, shrewdly observed by the ever-watchful eye of Sergeant Rees. Within the castle, other plans were afoot. The 2 squires, Torold and Faintree, walked across the courtyard. They did not speak, but each knew what he must do. A guard opened the gate, and they stepped out into the narrow streets. Neither of them had noticed Giles Siward, who watched them from behind a cart, his eyes narrow, cold, determined. The butcher's shop was but a short pace from the castle walls, and Flesher opened the door to their knock with alacrity. And though he looked around suspiciously, even he did not notice the lurking Siward, who had followed close in their shadow. It wasn't much later that the king's forces launched their first attack, but as the troops charged across the bridge over the moat, which of them would have noticed Flesher and Faintree up to their necks in water? And which of them would have seen Torold, as quiet as a weasel, grasp from behind the one guard who blocked their way and cut his throat? And so it was that the three men escaped the castle, and while others fought, they sought instead Fitzalan's treasure. The king's troops pounded open the castle doors and poured in through the battlements. It was soon clear that the rebels were outnumbered and outfought.
Run! We're lost!
Giles Siward made no attempt to fight. Instead, he slipped away, intent on another purpose. As for Aideny and Fitzalan, they too realized the cause was hopeless. And the two men used the cover of battle to make their escape from the castle, and so left their friend and loyal comrade, Arnulf of Hesdin, to face the consequences of their rebellion alone.
Where are they, Hesdin?
I fought you fair, and look to be treated with honor. As a nobleman of England and France, I am worth an earl's ransom.
You were foul-mouthed when there were walls between us. I swore then to have your life. No earl's ransom can buy it back. You have my price.
I find your price too high.
Where are Fitzalan and Aideny?
But the king was not to know that even as he spoke, the rebels were being rowed upriver to Wales and to freedom. Nor did he know that in a small barn, the butcher Flesher was filling the saddlebags of the squires Faintree and Torold with a king's ransom.
King Stephen commands all to provide food and lodgings for his army.
The next morning, Shrewsbury made some attempts to return to normal life. But for Brother Cadfael, there was only one thing on his mind as he pushed his way through the poor townsfolk, that he was late for matins. He could hear the plain chant already as he climbed the steps to the abbey, breathed deeply, and entered the sombre interior. As he took his place in the choir, Prior Robert threw him a withering look, and Cadfael knew that after the singing would be the reckoning. Nor, he thought, did the look of quiet, snide satisfaction on the face of Brother Jerome offer much hope of comfort from that quarter. It was with some trepidation that he joined in the responses. Sure enough, as Cadfael left the abbey with the other monks, the voice of Prior Robert brought him to an abrupt halt. There was to be no escape.
Brother Cadfael. Brother Prior, you were late to God's work.
Yes, but Father Abbot gave leave to take my place in the choir.
Father Abbot's mind is distracted by the strife beyond these walls. Were it not so, he would doubtless have sought satisfaction.
What delayed you, brother?
Well, an old man needed his dressing changed.
Work for an assistant, surely.
Ordinarily, yes. But events have robbed me of my usual help, as Brother Jerome is too well aware.
One has left to take up arms on King Stephen's side, and the other has declared for Empress Maud and fled for his family's manor.
Is not even this holy enclave immune from such conflict?
But why should it be? Like castle and town, we are also besieged. But in our case, it's the innocent and the dispossessed. People least able to defend themselves. We have a duty to them.
Do you tell me? Our duty is first to God, brother. Remember that.
Cadfael watched the gaunt figure turn on his heel, and for a second his eyes met the cold gaze of Brother Jerome. Then Cadfael turned away. As Cadfael made his way to the abbey gardens, a soldier, cheered on by his comrades, was beating a local costermonger. He threw him to the ground, and as he went to hit him again, a strong hand gripped him round the forearm. It was Cadfael.
Leaving be.
The soldier pushed Cadfael away and drew his sword on him. As he did so, Sergeant Rees pushed his way through the throng.
Leave him alone! I'll
dare you raise a hand against this holy brother? Go on! Get back to your duties now, go! It's hard enough keeping these bastards in check at the best of times. This morning one of them had his throat cut. Rebels, no doubt, fleeing for their lives.
Well, Stephen has taken the castle. And those within?
Your voice is familiar, brother. I feel I should know you.
So you should, Sergeant Rees. But small blame if my name escapes you. 40 years have passed since we last fought together. At the fall of Jerusalem.
No. Can't be. Cadfael! This woman and a boy have business at the Abbey. Best let them pass.
Later that day, Cadfael was hard at work in the summer's heat, tending his herb gardens, when he was startled to hear the voice of Brother Jerome, who was not known to be a frequent visitor to this, Cadfael's special domain.
Brother Cadfael, I have a new assistant for you. His name is Godric.
Cadfael looked at the slender youth. He looked back at him from under a cropped tangle of brown curls, his eyes unusually blue and long-lashed.
A good woman of the town brought him in. Her nephew from Hencourt. Both his parents are dead, so she says, and she asks that we might take him in as novice. I thought instantly of you, brother, that your labours may be eased, and agreed to have him.
And I bring 10 shillings as a gift to the Abbey, brother.
Well, that was very thoughtful of you, brother. I'm sure the boy will do very well.
Yes, well, he's in your care now, brother.
Cadfael took the boy by the arm and walked him through the bed of herbs. The Abbey bell tolled, the birds sang, the day was warm.
This is my herb garden. Between the offices of the day, I prepare medicines from these plants for the sick in the Abbey and the town.
What is this place?
My workshop. And for the present, your sleeping place. Certain of these medicines need tending regularly, some quite early. So there you have your bed. And unlike the novices' quarters, these doors can be barred. You may shut out the world, and myself also, until you're ready to come out to us. Daughter.
The boy stopped suddenly, slowly turned towards Cadfael and held his gaze for an instant.
I thought I could pass all trials.
Child, I was 40 years about the world from end to end of it before I took the cow.
What will you do now?
What should I do? Help you as best I can.
But you don't know who I am.
A child, left forlorn here to weather the storm and to restore to your own people. Is that not enough?
No. I'm a danger to anyone who befriends me now. Even to you. I'm daughter to the king's sworn enemy. My name is Godith Aideny.
And now it was Cadfael's turn to stare, struck dumb as he was by the enormity of this revelation. As Cadfael absorbed this news, the squires Faintree and Torold Blund, bearing their saddle-bags of treasure, rode their horses through the woods surrounding Shrewsbury, making their way towards Wales and safety. But suddenly Faintree's horse reared up.
Nick, what is it?
The horse is lame.
The two men dismounted. It was Torold who found the evil star-shaped iron spike buried in the horse's hoof.
Caltrops! The path's covered with them.
She'll never make it out of the woods, never mind to Wales. Look, go back to Edric Flesher's barn and wait for me. I'll try and find you another mount. I'll take the treasury. Somebody knows our road.
The two men exchanged a look, and then Torold led the horses bearing the treasure away, while Nicholas Faintree made his way back along the path from whence they had come. Meanwhile in Shrewsbury, the fate of Arnulf of Hesdin lay in the hands of King Stephen. A branding iron was held close to the old man's head.
Where are they? Answer me! And the rest? How many of the garrison were taken alive?
Apart from him, 93 in arms.
Hang them.
All, Your Grace.
And at once. Have them all out of the world before tomorrow.
They hanged Arnulf first. The old man went to his end with dignity, proud to the last. Courcelle, as officer of the guard, stood by the gallows impassive, cold. Within the cells, the men waiting to die shivered with fear. But for Giles Siward, when they came for him, there was more than fear. There was a kind of outrage, a sense of shock.
You're next.
It was dark when Torold returned to seek Nicholas Faintree at Flesher's barn. He approached the shadowy building, hidden within the woods, with a stealthy tread.
Nick. Nick, are you there? Nick? Oh my God. Nick? Nick?
Torold dropped to his knees by the still body of his companion. He turned him over, but he was dead. Then from behind, an unseen figure threw a garrote over Torold's head, pulling the thin line tight around his neck. For a second it seemed the young man must die like his companion as he was pulled backwards to the ground, his eyes starting from his head, gasping for air. But somehow, from somewhere, he found the strength to struggle, and he grasped at the nearby manger in an effort to pull himself to his feet. The wooden frame snapped away in his hand, but the timber left him with a weapon. With a short, heavy piece of wood, he swung backwards, hard, hitting his attacker in the body. The invisible assailant gasped for breath, and then was gone into the night shadows, leaving Torold alone, gasping. At the Abbey, Cadfael wondered if the summons to see the Father Abbot was in some way still related to his lateness for matins. But as he entered the room and saw the grim faces of the Father Abbot and Brother Robert, he knew this to be a weightier matter.
You sent for me, Father.
Father Abbot is going this night to ask the king's leave to give Christian burial to the slaughtered prisoners.
94 men, brother, disposed of as animals.
If his grace consents, tomorrow we must take up their poor bodies and prepare them decently for the grave.
You have yourself been a soldier. Will you take charge of this work?
Yes, Father.
They had built the gallows within the castle walls, and when the grisly job was done, they had cast the bodies over the battlements. They lay in an untidy heap, a ghastly pile some 15 feet high. Cadfael and the younger monks he had chosen to be his helpers stood transfixed for a while by the stinking mass of waste. Then Cadfael rallied his men. They commandeered the castle courtyard and laid out the bodies, row upon row, military men now lying still, stiffly to attention beneath simple shrouds. The monks prayed for the dead, and the young men turned away, pulling their cowls over their heads, as if to shut out forever such sights. And so alone, Cadfael counted the grim harvest.
70, 80, 90... 5.
He was puzzled. Surely the abbot had told him 94. Yet here were 95. 95 bodies. Then a determined look stole over his face, and he marched to the first rank of dead men, folding back his sleeves. He pulled away the shroud, cupped the grey cheeks in his hand, and rolled the head from side to side. The neck was broken. He examined the man's hands. There were deep bruises where he had struggled in his death throes against the bonds that held him in check. And so he approached the next body, performing the same minute examination. And again, the next. The heavy wooden entrance door to the courtyard suddenly swung open. Prescott, the newly appointed sheriff, stood there watching the actions of the monk with some amazement. But seemingly oblivious to his presence, Cadfael carried on with his task. And then he came across the thing he had suspected. On this body, there were no rope marks around the wrists, nor deep burns on the throat. And more strange, there was the head of an odd-looking flower snagged on the tunic.
Goosegrass.
Its presence caught Cadfael's attention. He tucked it away into the depths of his cowl, and now looked up at those who observed him.
Sheriff Prescott, I was told 94 had been dispatched on the king's orders. There are 95 here.
One more or less, what does it matter? Traitors all and condemned. Am I to tear my heart out because the number does not tally?
94 you had orders to slay, but the 95th? No king authorized his removal. And whoever destroyed him is guilty of murder.
An officer in the heat of fighting miscounts by one. One, mark you. And you make a murder case of it. He rebelled like the rest. He is hanged like the rest, and that, I tell you, is an end of it.
No, he was not hanged like the rest. His hands have not been bound like the rest. He's in no way comparable. Yet someone took it for granted that we'd miss this one leaf hidden in the middle of your forest. My Lord Prescott, this man was murdered. It would be well if you could at least come and look at him.
Reluctantly, Prescott crossed the courtyard and took his place at Cadfael's side.
You have 95 dead here. And by my reckoning, that's one corpse too many.
Aline Siward was Giles Siward's sister, and now she stood before King Stephen. She was an orphan, but her father had been loyal to the king. Her brother's treachery in choosing the rebel side weighed heavy on her. But here she was, slender, beautiful, shy, and the mourning she wore made her somehow vulnerable. She was indeed, with her golden hair and dark eyes, worthy of any man's attention, even a king's.
These are the keys to all our estates. My brother Giles should be here to offer allegiance. But when your grace assumed the crown, he took the Emperor's side. It is rumored he made his way to her in France.
Mistress Siward, no blame may light on you for your brother's lack of wisdom. I hold your loyalty dear to me as that of any baron. But tell me what I can do to serve you. I understand you've made no provision for yourself as yet.
I had hoped to stay at the Abbey.
A sign of goodwill from the Abbot is long overdue. Captain Courcelle, see that Mistress Siward is safely installed.
Gladly, Your Grace.
It was clearly more than a pleasure for Courcelle to escort the beautiful woman from the king's tent. But as they left, a young knight passed them on his way. He was a tall, handsome man, with cold eyes, but he too marveled at her beauty before turning to bow low before the king.
Hugh Beringar of Naysbury at your grace's service, with all that I hold.
Your name, Master Beringar, is known to us. But it was devoted to our cause was not so well known. As I hear, you have until recently been in the confidence of our vile traitors, Fitzalan and Aideney.
I would be still, had they not chosen one way and I another.
Indeed. Strange how many rally to the victor's side when the battle is already won.
I stand ready to prove my fealty, Your Grace. Say only where you would have me serve, and it shall be done.
No. I think we shall consider carefully before welcoming you to our cause. Even more so when you are betrothed to Aideney's daughter.
That arrangement was made on us when we were children. The times have changed a great many plans previously made.
Should her father escape me, even at this late hour, she might prove a valuable hostage. You say you are ready to prove your fealty. Very well. Deliver the girl, and you will not go unrewarded.
Beringar looked at the king, inscrutable. Was this a challenge too far? But his look gave away nothing. Meanwhile, Cadfael was hunched over the body of the dead Faintree. For the benefit of Sheriff Prescott and his sergeant, he was pulling the heavy, buckled cloak from the dead man's neck to reveal the thin, red bruising. The sight of the marks came as a relief to Prescott.
He died strangled, like all the others.
Yeah, so he did, but not by a rope. Look at the thinness of the cord that took his life. No man ever dangled from such a noose, and it runs level right round his neck. Fine as fishing line, which it may very well have been. Now, you see the edges of the furrow. See where it's discolored and shiny? The cord was waxed to make it bite smooth and deep. Mark his nails. He clawed at the cord that was killing him. His hands were free. Did you hang any whose hands were not tied? No.
There's nothing to be gained by making public so wild a tale. Bury your dead and be content.
Nevertheless, Prescott agreed to make it known to the town that there was a body to be identified. And later that morning, the Sergeant Warden read out a proclamation.
Sheriff Prescott gives free warranty to any who wish to claim their dead. Since there is one in particular whose identity is not known, he asks that all who come may view him. Also be it known that any...
As he spoke, Aline Siward looked on, and so concerned was she that she did not notice the young knight Beringar take his place beside her.
I think you found cause for distress in what you've just heard. If I can be of service.
This is something only I can do. No other would know Giles' face.
In the courtyard, Cadfael had moved the mysterious body to one side, and as he covered it with a shroud, he found Adam Courcelle beside him.
He can have had nothing to make him worth killing for gain.
Friend, there are those who would kill a beggar for the few coins he'd made during the day. But when they see kings cut down more than 90, is it such wonder? Christ God.
Courcelle's interjection was caused by the sight of Aline Siward and Hugh Beringar. As they approached, an observer such as Brother Cadfael may have been forgiven for wondering if it was the sight of the woman among the dead or the sight of her escort that most concerned him.
Aline, Maggie, should you be here, so desolate a spectacle? I marveled you would bring her to face a scene so harrowing.
I insisted on coming. Since he could not prevent it, Master Beringar has been kind enough to accompany me. I have a brother.
Aye, fled to Normandy, you said.
He may have reached France or taken arms on behalf of the Empress with some company closer to home.
Surely the garrison here were well known.
The sheriff's proclamation mentioned one not known.
This is a most Christian service you're doing here, brother.
Cadfael.
Is this the unexpected one? So young. I wish I could tell you his name.
Come, quit this sad place. Your brother's not here.
How can I be sure unless I see them all?
And so Cadfael led her to where the other bodies lay. It was the second corpse they uncovered that brought an exclamation to her lips.
Giles. Oh, Giles.
Mistress?
Courcelle stepped forward, a look of horror on his face.
Oh, dear God. Is this indeed your brother? If I'd known, I would have saved him for you. No matter what the cost, I would have delivered him. Oh, God, forgive me.
You had your orders. How could you have saved one and let the rest die?
Wait.
Courcelle had seen the buckle on the dead man's belt, and something about it clearly affected him. He turned then and hastened away towards the guardhouse. Cadfael gently took the woman's arm and helped her stand.
Brother Cadfael, I thank you for all you have done. But now I must take my brother's burial into my charge. Master Beringar, you have been very kind.
She was turning to go when Courcelle returned, bearing a heavy soldier's cloak.
This was among the property left behind in the guardroom at the end. This clasp has the same design as his buckle. At least let me restore this to him.
Courcelle knelt beside the body of Giles Siward and covered it in the fine blue cloth. They laid him out then in the Abbey mortuary, she and Beringar. And it was as they did so that Aline noticed something.
There should be a dagger.
The Flemings wouldn't be above such vile thievery. Especially if it had some worth.
Leaving Aline in sombre prayer at the side of her brother's body, Beringar made his way with some haste to the butcher Flesher's shop. He was admitted to the dark recesses by the man's wife.
Master Hugh! Oh, to see a known and trusted face here now. If you're hunted, you're welcome to shelter.
No, I'm in no danger. No, I only came to look for Godith. To provide for her.
Someone sent you?
No. But where else would Aline place her if not with her trusted nurse? Now, never tell me she wasn't here.
Hope you don't know. We can't be made to tell.
Edric.
I'm sorry we have no better news for you, lad, but there it is. Take heart. No enemy has laid hand on her yet. We pray. None ever will.
Then I shall put you in no further peril. God bless and keep you both.
Reluctantly, Beringar turned away and left the shop. The woman exchanged a look with her husband as she barred the door.
Hunting for his bride.
Outside, Beringar lingered for a moment before striding determinedly away. But as he did so, Cadfael appeared from a nearby doorway.
None have claimed you're unknown yet, then, brother?
No.
Well, if he was at the rebel garrison, you'll get little support from the king in seeking his assassin.
And this is the man whose cause you choose to follow?
We make our choices and we live with them. And you, brother, whose cause do you follow?
My monarch is neither Stephen nor Maud. In all my life, I fought for one king only. To him alone can I look for absolution.
You have no cause for approach, surely. I've looked on the faces of hangmen before. and your hands restored them some dignity.
I have looked on things today that I hoped I would never see again. I once put all such horrors behind me, and gladly too.
But for all that, you would seek his murderer.
That duty belongs to better men. Good night, my lord.
And if such men shrink from their duty, what then, brother?
But Cadfael did not look back. In Cadfael's garden, Godith stepped from the workshop to receive an unexpected visitor.
Good day, my lady. I was looking for Brother Cadfael. It's only I've brought these. My brother no longer needs them. They're still good. And I thought someone would be glad of them.
You had a brother in there? In the castle? Oh, I am sorry.
He made his choice. I was taught to think it was the wrong one. But at least he stood by it to the end.
Godith took the bundle of clothes and watched the other woman depart, her heart heavy with grieving. And then she made her way to the mortuary where she knew Cadfael would be.
Brother Cadfael.
You should not be here, child.
Mr. Siward brought these.
As Cadfael took the clothes for the first time, she saw the dead man.
You recognize him?
His name is Nicholas Faintree. He's a squire of Fitzalan's from Ellesmere.
Ellesmere? Then what was he doing so far south? Fitzalan's business was almost finished in these parts.
I know some who may be able to tell you what he was doing here. But if you can be sure no harm will come to them.
King Stephen had heard stories, unpleasant stories, that might threaten the delicate peace he had so recently established. Perturbed, he had called Abbot Heribert, Prior Robert, and Cadfael to his presence.
Abbot Heribert, there is rumour of a man found murdered amongst my lawfully executed. I understand this rumour was started by a Benedictine.
No one's suggesting your grace had any part in such an act.
It has obviously been a mistake, of course. How could there be a man dead there in some other way?
He's there because some felon put him there, to pass for just one among the many, and arouse no curiosity.
Be ashamed to make such rash accusations. Your Grace, if what Brother Cadfael says is true, such a person would need to know how your traitors were to be disposed.
Well, most of the town, and certainly all the garrison, would have known by nightfall, and this deed was committed in darkness.
And how can you say that with any certainty? We don't even know his name.
His name was Nicholas Faintree.
Be silent.
No, let him speak. Why do you say he was killed at night?
I examined his body, Your Grace. A man's physical appearance changes post-mortem. There were signs of stiffening of the muscles. Also, he had been moved after death. Most likely slung over a horse. His blood, you see, had settled in his hands and his feet.
Well, all the rebels were dispatched by late afternoon, and none of them conveyed anywhere by horse.
Naturally, there is nothing to implicate Your Grace. No. The murderer merely crept into your shadow for cover.
Unfortunately, my army moves east in 4 days. I can spare neither the men nor the time to pursue this investigation.
Oh, that is indeed unfortunate, Your Grace, because the Empress Maud's faction will doubtless seize upon your inability to act in this matter and offer it as proof that Your Grace cares little about justice.
Faintree, you say? It is possible he had come here to seek service with us. You did right to report what you found. Pursue such inquiries as can be made. Abbot Heribert, you will present any findings at the feast on the eve of our departure. You have 4 days, brother.
Cadfael acted immediately upon Godith's advice and made his way swiftly to see the butcher Flesher and his wife.
The two lads came at dawn, the day the castle fell. There'd been a council the night before. Fitzalan wanted his treasury taken to the Empress, whether he lived or not.
Then all those who were at this council knew that there should be 2 abroad that night.
But not where the treasure was hidden. Only Fitzalan and I knew the place.
So if any had designs on the treasury, they would have had to waylay it on the road.
Fitzalan's home? Never. 2 men riding by night could have been taken by robbers in the forest.
No, this was no chance of that. Whoever killed Faintree did so close by the town to have time and means to conceal his body among the rest. This other lad who rode with Faintree, do you know him?
No. He gave his name as Torold Blund. More than that, I cannot tell you.
You forget Edric. He came. Hugh Beringar. Pretending to be all concerned for Godith and asking where he might find her.
But there could have been no mention of Faintree's mission when he came. Nothing that made him prick his ears?
No.
He's very quick, that one, and very private.
Don't let my lamb get within sight of him, brother. As hostage for her father, she's worth a fat commission.
Never fear. I've seen that danger. He won't lay hand on her. Not if I can stop him.
But that very evening, as the monks sung their offices, Hugh Beringar appeared in the church, and it seemed to Godith that he must see her. But she huddled back in her pew, and his eyes passed over her. Or so it seemed. Nevertheless, afterwards in the cloisters, Cadfael hurried over to her.
Do you think he recognized you?
No, he didn't look at me.
Oh, that one took his measure of all of us.
I have changed in 5 years. So has he, the renegade. To think we should have married.
Well, until we know for certain why he's here, I think it best that you stay far away from the guest house, the stables, or anywhere else that he might be.
Later that day, Cadfael found himself in the tent of his old friend, Sergeant Rees. The man was ill, very ill, and it was the Sergeant Warden who had called upon Cadfael. But now he looked on dubiously as Cadfael spoke.
How long?
2 days. I wouldn't give you much for his chances, brother.
Yeah, I remember he was first taken like this in the Holy Land. If I give you instructions, can you medicine him?
I suppose so. But you're wasting your time.
No, he must be cooled when he burns, and warmed when these chills are on him. Also, give him 3 drops of this twice a day.
What is it?
Potaba somniferum, oriental poppy, or at least the juice of it.
Anything else?
Yes. You can pray for him.
A pleasant change from harvesting dead men, brother.
Cadfael stood from where he had been harvesting herbs in his gardens, and eyed Beringar dubiously.
Oh, I hope we've finished with that kind of crop in Shrewsbury.
You found a name for your stranger, then? How was that?
All questions find their answers, if you wait long enough. Is there something here I can help you to? Or are you just curious to learn about these simple herbs of mine?
I'd hardly say it was any simplicity I came to study. They say you had a wide-ranging career before coming to the cloister. You must find it unbearably dull here after such battles with no enemy left to fight.
Well, I'm not finding it at all dull these days. And as for enemies, the devil finds his way in everywhere, even in cloister and church.
Brother Cadfael, you're the most practical of men in these parts. Should I have need of your help, you would not refuse it without due thought.
I hope I never do anything without due thought.
While the 2 men talked, in another part of the garden, other monks, among them the girl Godith, disguised as the novice Godric, laboured with spades and hoes. But it was too hot for the girl, and unnoticed, she slipped away and made her way to a cool spot she knew in the shade of the trees by the riverbank. And there she found the man. She did not know it then, but this was Torold, cohort of the dead Faintree. He lay now half in the water, half on the bank, and at first she thought he was dead. There was a terrible arrow wound to his back, and the water ran dark red around him. But as she was about to scream, he opened his eyes. Somehow she managed to help him to the small fishing hut by the stream, and then she sought out Cadfael. He came quickly to the man. He lay on the simple wooden bed and was very near death.
Now be easy, boy. Lie still while I see where you hurt. Nothing out of joint by the look of you. No, nothing broken. Where are we? Some small way from the Abbey. That was done by an arrow. You've been leading an interesting life lately, boy. Who was hunting you?
King's men. Who else?
I'm going to soak this bandage with betony. It'll help make the wound nipped clean. Then you must eat something, but not too much. Yes, you're over-weary to make best use of it.
I shall have trouble paying you back.
A straight story buys whatever hospitality we're offering. But that can wait.
my name, at least?
Your name is Torold Blund. The rest can wait till tomorrow. At the present, save your strength.
The young man fell back into an immediate sleep. But it was not dreamless as those terrible events of the other night came flooding back to him.
Hey. Maggie, are you there? Nick? Nick?
And as he struggled once more with his invisible foe, it seemed he heard a comforting voice. And Cadfael was there, beside the bed again.
Bad dreams, Torold? Or worse memory?
And so Torold told the monk of his adventures, of how he had escaped the barn, only to be shot by soldiers, and how he had let the heavy saddlebags slip into the deep water of the river where they were safe. And so Cadfael went to the woods, and there on the path he found the vicious spikes that had led to the men's downfall. And then he made his way to Flesher's barn, just as Torold had told him to. While he was away, Godith, still disguised as a boy, tended Torold's wounds. She was dressing them when he spoke to her properly for the first time.
I don't understand. I have sworn to die in the Empress's service because I believe the crown of this realm is hers by right. But you and Brother Cadfael owe no such allegiance. Indeed, the Church has taken King Stephen's side, so why should you help me?
We have a Christian duty to help any who need our aid.
Then I'll not put you in further peril, brother. I'm fit and strong. In my place, you'd have been out of here long before now.
I would not. What use would you be on the run from here? No weapon? Your horse turned loose to baffle pursuit? How far would you get? You'd be carried back on Brother Cadfael's shoulders.
Oh, would I so?
A 10-year-old could lay you out.
I'll show you, Master Godric, whether I'm fit or no. One hand of mine can more than deal with you, my lord.
Torold rolled sideways. First he grabbed at the supposed boy's arm, and then, twisting, he laid his hand on her chest to push him away. They both froze for an instant, as the truth dawned on him. And then she struck him a fierce blow to the head. He slumped back, looked up at her, amazed.
Why didn't you tell me?
There was no need for you to know.
Does Brother Cadfael know?
Of course. He at least can tell a heart from a hind.
And tell me, mistress, who are you?
Cadfael approached Flesher's barn with some trepidation. It appeared empty, and he pushed open the door and entered cautiously. Looking around, he soon found the broken manger and the piece of wood Torold had used as a weapon. And there in the manger, just as he had suspected, were more flowers of goosegrass. Then, as he was turning to go, something else caught his eye. A jewel, a heavy, glistening stone, half hidden in the straw. Back at the fisherman's hut, Torold marvelled at the stone, and then looked up at Cadfael.
Broken off from a dagger's hilt, would you think?
Not from yours, then?
Mine? Where would a poor squire get so fine a weapon as this must have been? No, this is not of mine.
Nor from Faintree's?
No. Where did you get this?
Flesher's barn. I found everything just as you told me. This must have snapped off against the ground during your struggle.
Then it belonged to Faintree's killer?
Almost certainly. And it's the only thing we have that could lead us to him.
If he still has the dagger.
Oh, yes, I think he has. No one would discard so valuable a weapon, merely because one stone was missing. Now, he'll keep it safe until such time as he dare have it repaired. If we find the dagger, we shall have found the murderer.
I should be glad to be the one who avenges Nick.
Your part is to do your duty and get Fitzalan's treasure to France. Yes, and Aidan his treasure, too. You shall take Godith with you. Bring her safely to her father. All I have to do is to conjure 2 good horses out of the air, retrieve your treasure, and see you clear of the town towards Wales. Well, harder things are done daily by the saints.
The sudden sound of birds from outside the hut caused Cadfael to pause. Was someone there? He motioned for silence and quietly opened the door. But there was no one in sight.
What is it?
Nothing. Well, Godric, I think you and I must be getting back to Vespers. It wouldn't do to be late. Wait here.
Still puzzled, Cadfael stepped back into the hut and drew from within his habit a slender, deadly-looking dagger. He handed it to Torold.
It has been of some service.
Leaving Torold in the hut, Cadfael and Godith made their way back to the abbey by the banks of the river. But they had not gone very far before stumbling across Hugh Beringar, who appeared to be lazing in the evening sun. But could this be merely coincidence, mused Cadfael, as the man rose to greet them.
Very fair evening, brother. May we walk together?
We are bound for Vespers.
So am I.
Oh, well, you run ahead, lad. And then come to Vespers with the other boys. Go on.
Most biddable lad you have, brother.
A year's endowment with us. Though I doubt if he's one to take the cow. You're at leisure today, my lord?
Not so much at leisure as in need of your skills and knowledge. The king is about to order a tithe of provisions from all stores. And all, mark that, all the good horses are to be commandeered for army use. No matter who owns them, and the abbey will not be exempt.
Bad news for Brother Prior.
It's bad news for me. I have 4 horses stabled there. No intention of losing my 2 best. No, I want them somewhere they can evade Sheriff Prescott's foraging parties.
Only the 2?
You have more cunning than that, brother. If they find none, they'd hunt for all, and small chance I'd have left for royal favor. Brother Cadfael, you know this countryside better than any man. Is there not a place I can lie up my horses safely for a few days?
And so it was that instead of going to Vespers, Cadfael and Beringar took 2 horses to a certain stables known well to the monk.
I'll be sure to surrender them to no one but myself or Brother Cadfael.
Well, if you're ready, my lord, it'll be full dark soon. We have a long walk ahead of us.
Have you ever contemplated marriage, brother?
Yes. Once, before taking the cross, I had thoughts to marry. She was a very fair woman, was Richildis, but, to speak truth, I forgot about her in the east. And in the west, she forgot me. I was away too long.
Have you ever seen her again?
No, never. Probably has grandchildren by now. May they be good to her.
Well, the east also had women, and you a young crusader. I cannot but wonder, brother.
So? Wonder. I wonder about you, too. A natural conspirator, I'd say.
Yes, well, one knows another. Oh, brother, I don't know if this has any bearing on the Faintree murder or not, but they're saying before the fall, a bodyguard was sent from the castle to escort Aline's daughter out of Shrewsbury.
Why should they think that?
The king's men hunted a squire of Fitzallen's into the river, and Archer took him. Later, 2 saddled horses were found running loose, so it would seem the attempt had failed.
And the girl?
Still missing, but thought to be somewhere close in hiding, and they'll be looking for her, Brother Cadfael. Now, more than ever. Good night.
From that moment on, Cadfael believed he had found his man, for he felt certain that his every footstep, his every move was watched by Beringar. When he tended Sergeant Rees, he felt Beringar's eyes bearing down on him from afar. And when he took a boat to the river, where Torold had hidden the treasury, he felt certain that he was watched as he drew the heavy saddlebags with their precious load from the riverbed. And when he carried them at dead of night to the stables where Beringar's horses were hidden, and when he left empty-handed, he was sure Beringar was watching. But if he was, curiously, Cadfael did little to hide his actions. Happy, it seemed, to let Beringar observe his every move. The following morning, the soldiers arrived at the abbey.
Sheriff Prescott! Why have you closed our gates? What is the meaning of this intrusion?
I'm ordered by His Grace to require a tithe of your stores, and any horses not already in the use of people in His Grace's commission. I'm also commanded to search and inquire everywhere for the girl Godith, daughter of His Grace's traitor, Fulk Aidene.
They turned their attentions next to Cadfael's workshop. He was too late to prevent them hammering open the door.
There's nothing here. I told you, there's nothing here. Where are you, child?
She had gone to seek refuge with one she thought beyond the reach of the king.
Godric!
Aline Siward.
What's the matter? Come within.
Godric. No, milady. Not Godric.
Torold had just escaped from the fishing hut in time. The net was closing in. But now he was able to hide in the woods and watch Courcelle and his men break down the door. It was there that Courcelle found Cadfael's knife. Later, he handed it to Sheriff Prescott.
A fine weapon. Keen-edged. Well balanced. Where did you find it?
In a fishing hut along the water meadow. Seemingly long abandoned. But there were tracks suggesting someone had been there of late.
It was not until after matins that Cadfael was to hear news of the girl's whereabouts.
Be easy. She's safe. In my house.
Praise to God.
He made his way then swiftly to the fishing hut, wondering what he would find there. A figure moved in the shadows, and he heard a plate fall and smash. He hesitated, then entered the ramshackle building. There was a sudden movement. He stepped back and to one side, and then, with an old soldier's instinct, reached for a heavy stick and raised it menacingly. But it was Torold, safe, and the two men embraced. It took them no time to meet Godric and take her to the stable where Beringar's horses were kept. But another shock awaited them.
Halt as you stand! Let no man move, for the lady's sake.
Be easy, Torold. Do as he says.
Brother Cadfael speaks wisely.
What is your will, Master Beringar? Do you mean to stand on your rights and marry me?
I admit, I've never felt so tempted to marry you before. But no.
Then I'm just the means to buy your way into Stephen's favour.
In a manner of speaking, yes. You came here to find horses. Well, here they are. You may ride as soon as you please.
We can go.
Yes, and swiftly, if you'll take my advice. However, you'll ride the faster if you lighten your load. The saddlebags that Brother Cadfael so negligently obscuring, those I'll keep. By way of memento of you. My sweet Godric.
I've mistaken you, Hugh Beringar. You had a right to try for this prize.
It'll go some way towards blunting his grace's rage when I tell him, despite my very best efforts, I couldn't find you.
Well, there's no help for it. They're yours.
Now mount and good speed.
Brother Cadfael, everything I owe to you.
She's in your care now, but as a sacred charge. So beware of taking advantage.
They rode away, and as she slipped into the shadows of the wood, Godric turned back. Not to look at the man to whom she was once betrothed, but to wave to the monk who had saved her life. And then they were gone.
You'll miss her. Like a fibre gone from my heart.
There was nothing to do but return to Cadfael's workshop. Beringar lugged the heavy saddlebags of treasure and threw them on the table with relief.
You carried this on your back all that way?
Well, you saw me do it. Here, let me give you some light. Would you like to taste my wine?
Oh, gladly. And I'll drink to your better success. Against all opponents but Hugh Beringar.
Yes, at least the mercenaries missed.
As Cadfael poured the wine, Beringar unpacked the bags. But he looked up in disbelief as he found only rocks and stones.
I've been commiserating with you all this time when you had this in store for me. A fool I was to think I could out-trick you.
Now I'll drink to your better success. Against all opponents but Cadfael.
How? How was this done? I swear I never took my eyes from you. You did draw up what Torold had drowned in the river. I heard it rise.
So I did. And then I let it slip in again, softly. This I already had in the boat. The other Godith reclaimed this morning.
Then where is it? They departed empty-handed.
Well, on the way to the Grange, I suggested that they might the sooner reach their mounts if they left their load in the stump of a certain oak. By now, I hope it's been retrieved and it's with them, safe in Wales, where Stephen can no longer reach them.
My treasure. Well, I mean, the stones and sacks, that I understand. Anything to make like for like. But what are these things?
They're the clothes Faintree was wearing when he was strangled.
You put these together for me to see and recoil at my own guilt. I understand that I might well be suspect, Cadfael, but do I seem to you a man who would kill in so foul a way?
There's little I would put out of your scope. But killing by stealth? No. That I would never look for. No, there's nothing here to shake you, or for you to recognize.
Recognize? No, not that. But this. This, after a fashion, I think I may know.
He held up the jewel that Cadfael had found in the barn, and the two men looked at each other. They at once made their way to Aline Siward, and there presented her with the stone.
Yes. This came from the hilt of Giles' dagger. Where did you find it?
At a certain barn in Frankwell.
How did it come to be there?
That is not certain. Yet.
If we may keep the stone for the present.
Hugh, if there's something I should know, you will tell me, won't you?
What could I possibly hide from you?
She looked at him, wondering if he told all the truth. And then he was gone, leaving her with her thoughts. In the darkened streets, Cadfael and Beringar walked side by side.
Giles killed Faintree. Must she bear that too?
No, never fear. There's no guilt there to touch Aline. Her brother was already dead, several hours before Faintree was murdered. And whoever killed him first robbed Giles's corpse and then went to Faintree's ambush wearing the dagger he'd stolen.
Yet how did he learn of the plan?
Well, perhaps one of the rebels tried to buy his own life by betraying Catalan's treasury.
Who? Which of them? Look, time is against us, Cadfael. After tomorrow, Stephen marches for Worcester, and our murderer with him, most likely.
Our murderer?
Look, I know you can work miracles, Cadfael, but even you would be hard-pressed to find this killer alone by tomorrow night's feast. Now, together, we can cover twice the ground. Believe me, once the king puts this town behind him, he's going to forget about Faintree. Now, we stand side by side on this, Cadfael, or not at all.
You go to the castle, see what you can learn. I'll go to the siege camp and do likewise. And remember, Hugh, the dagger. Everything turns on that dagger. Find it, and we found our murderer.
The next morning, Beringar organized a search of the castle grounds. It was a hopeless task, looking for a broken dagger in the scraps and waste. The wreckage of a battle just finished, but he felt he must do something. For Cadfael, there was a more constructive way to take his mind off the problem. He must visit the sickly Sergeant Rees, who, he was now pleased to find, was back on his feet.
Cadfael, how did I come by this cloak? Arms from a gentlewoman. Then he that wore it before me is surely dead. Yes, he is. The lady you sent it is his sister. And trust me, her giving blesses the gift. I have seen him alive. That's just an effect of the tincture. This was no dream of Poppy's. I saw him, living, with his cloak about him.
I beg an audience with the king.
When? It was dark, and I was cold. It seems to me, the night before the castle fell, he came here.
That evening, the king threw a banquet within the castle, for his army would ride again on the morrow. The monks were to serve food and wine to the noblemen and soldiers, but Cadfael broke off from his duties to relay the new development to Beringar.
Giles was at the king's camp, in mortal dread. He came to the besiegers, offering Fitzalan's treasure in exchange for his life. But his treachery fell victim to a greater.
And the betrayer himself was betrayed. By who? Could it have been Courcelle?
Why do you pick his name above any other?
Well, he was at the camp.
Well, so too was Prescott. 10 Heights, so was the king.
But he can give no account for himself the night of Fintry's murder.
Nor can you. We cannot accuse him simply because he's your rival for Aline's affection. However, if you were to say that Giles was brought before the officer of the watch that night to state his business, and that officer was Courcelle, and then if you were to remind me of the horror that fell on him when Aline found Giles among the dead, then I'd say you have grounds for suspicion.
You are ahead of me, Cadfael, even in this.
Remember what he said? I would have saved him for you, no matter what the cost. Oh, he realized what he'd done. God forgive me, he said. But he meant, Aline, forgive me.
And he returned the cloak to her. But if he was so taken with remorse, why didn't he surrender the dagger also?
Well, how could he? It was already broken and incomplete.
But if his eyes were on the greater prize, why should he have stolen it in the first place?
Well, no thief would willingly give up the chance of adding so valuable a bonus to his spoils. But you see, when Torold escaped from the barn with Fitzalan's treasury, that dagger became Courcelle's sole reward for murder.
And where is it? I've searched this castle from bailey to dungeon. There's no sign of the thing. Now, would he keep it in hiding or get rid of it?
Well, whichever. It's still our only proof. Without it, we have nothing, as you well know.
Then how are we to do that? I mean, if we accuse Courcelle and come to trial, everything will come out. And though I have little affection for one who would betray his comrades at the last gasp, I would not see Aline wounded by this, now or ever.
And therein lies our weakness.
Yes, and perhaps our strength. Where would he stand with Aline whenever this came out? No, we may only have half an attack, Cadfael, but likewise, he may only field half a defense.
I do understand your preoccupation, but I will not let Fintry lie uneasy for want of justice.
Brother, we are called to bring wine.
Cadfael, time is running out.
Well, at worst, we can put what we've found to Prescott, see what he advises, but for the present, do nothing.
But Beringar's face was not that of one who intended to follow good advice. But Cadfael had no time to remonstrate. He had to leave him to fetch wine from the kitchens, and it was there, where the cooks prepared their sauces and the kitchen boys worked, that he found the missing clue. He stared in disbelief at the kitchen boy who gutted fish, or rather, at the implement with which he performed his task. But at the feast, Beringar's hot blood coursed more strongly than his common sense, and ignoring Cadfael's words, he rose to face the king.
Your Grace, I have a matter on which I beg you'll hear me and do right.
Well?
There is one in this company who has abused his position in your confidence.
By what means abused?
He has stolen and he has murdered. I stand ready to prove my claim, and I offer this stone in evidence.
Silence! You will need to explain much, Beringar. What is this trinket?
It is the tip of a dagger hilt, Your Grace. The dagger itself was stolen from the body of Giles Siward. That stone was found at the site of Nicholas Faintree's murder.
Found by who?
By Brother Cadfael, Your Grace. He will testify that the man who stole the dagger is the same man who killed Nicholas Faintree, and that he left behind him this proof of his guilt.
This man, you say he is with us in the hall?
Your Grace, on a charge of theft and murder, I accuse Adam Courcelle.
What is this villainy? How does my name come into such a diatribe?
The villainy is yours alone, and you will hang for it.
Your Grace, these are the ravings of a man poisoned by jealousy. He envies me both your favor and Mistress Siward's affection. He is destined to enjoy neither. And why should he, when the one simple task you set him, to find his intended bride, proved too difficult? Draw steel, Beringar. I'll kill you where you stand.
Enough! Do you deny these charges, Adam?
Absolutely, Your Grace. If Beringar has evidence, let him produce it.
Your Grace, I have offered this stone in evidence. Courcelle has stolen!
Oh, come! This bauble is nothing. When did I ever see this supposed dagger? When was it ever seen in my possession? Search the belongings I have here. If such a thing be found, let me know it.
Your Grace, Brother Cadfael will back me in my claim.
Is the monk present?
Your Grace, I brought him with me.
He's obviously thought better of involving himself in such madness. There is no dagger. Beringar stands alone on this.
Your Grace, I would ask you to match stone to dagger with your own hands.
Cadfael approached the king. In his hand he bore an elegant dagger, a dagger with a broken hilt, the dagger that the kitchen boy only a few moments before had been using to gut fish.
There's no doubt this belongs. But whose word have we this is Giles Siward's weapon?
The word of Lady Aline herself.
A fair witness. Why do you suppose it to be Adam? There doesn't appear to be a single thread to link him with dagger or deed.
I'm glad your Grace put so firm a finger on the crux of the matter. There is no witness can put the weapon in my hand.
Your Grace, there is a witness. Boy! Now, I want you to explain to the king how you came by your knife.
I was fishing under the castle, and man came down and threw it in the river. He didn't see me, but soon as he went, I dived in and got it and kept it, since he didn't want it.
Do you know this man?
Not his name, only to look at.
Is he with us in the hall?
That was the man.
Move aside, Hugh.
Hugh Beringar stepped to one side. All eyes turned to the man who sat behind him, but Adam Courcelle remained calm.
Your Grace, this is utterly false.
You say the child lies? At whose instigation?
At Beringar's, Your Grace.
He seemed as taken aback by the witness as you were. Am I to suppose the Benedictine order procured the boy to put up such a story?
Your Grace, I refute these allegations utterly.
I maintain them.
You have put a millstone round my neck when most I need to move fast.
Your Grace, this must be some foolish error. What possible reason could I have to kill Faintree?
Well, you murdered him so that you could lay hands on Fitzalan's treasury.
What treasury?
Oh, my lord, I have learned that Fitzalan sent out couriers to get his treasury away to the Empress. Faintree was one such courier. Captain Courcelle knew the route he was going to take, so he lined the road with caltrops. This is a nonsense! How could I be privy to the rebels' plan? That information was given to you by one whose courage failed him at the last.
No, we agreed.
In fear of his life, he offered up Fitzalan's treasury, that he might be spared.
Your Grace, there be no delay. If you will countenance trial by combat. There is my gage. I stand ready to prove my charge against Courcelle with my body.
Well, since you both seem determined to destroy yourselves, tomorrow then, one or other of you in the castle courtyard shall have justice.
The king looked down steadily at the two protagonists. The Courcelle and Beringar only had eyes of hatred, one for the other. The following morning, a small crowd gathered in the castle courtyard. Both men stood arming themselves with heavy chain mail and shields. The gate opened and Cadfael entered. He went over to Beringar, and the young man smiled.
I knew you wouldn't fail me.
I'll see that you don't fail me.
No dread. I shall never be readier, and your arm will be seconding mine.
Yes, at every stroke. Give him no quarter, Hugh. And if you get the chance to finish him, strike swift and clean.
Cadfael turned away and took his place on the edge of the crowd. Courcelle and Beringar walked over to where the king sat among his courtiers. They placed their sword tips to the ground and bowed before their sovereign. Stephen half smiled and nodded to them. All this bored him. He wanted to get his army underway again. The two young men turned to take their places in the middle of the yard, but as they did, Courcelle struck at Beringar, a vicious blow from behind. The duel had begun. Helmetless and furious, Beringar rose to his feet and swung his sword. Courcelle parried with his shield and struck back. Both men exchanged blow after blow, first one yielding ground and then the other. Sparks flew as the heavy swords crashed into the iron shields, and neither man gave quarter. Then it seemed the advantage had swung to Beringar, as Courcelle came in close and received for his pains a vicious kick to the groin. But he rose swiftly from where he had fallen, and swung in his turn a mighty kick that dropped Beringar to his knees. And then, pirouetting away, he pulled from his belt a cruel little dagger. Watching, Cadfael drew in his breath.
No, not with my own weapon.
Courcelle lunged, but he missed. and Beringar swiftly drew his own dagger. Again, the men exchanged kicks and blows, and in one such exchange, Beringar lost his weapon, but he lunged out and knocked the dagger from the hand of Courcelle. It fell point up, its hilt buried in the dust and sand, and Beringar moved swiftly, kicking and punching. Then the two men locked in a deadly embrace, until Beringar, with a tremendous effort, threw Courcelle to the ground. The man groaned, then stiffened. The eyes in his head rolled, lifeless. He had fallen on the upturned dagger and was dead. Beringar stood. He looked down on the other man and turned to face his king.
I trust I've proven my case.
Your opponent proved it for you, all too well. But you have robbed me of a deputy sheriff. I may take reprisal by drafting you into the vacancy. What do you say?
I'm Hugh Beringar, deputy sheriff, at your grace's service.
They repaired Giles Siward's dagger, fixing the missing jewel into its rightful place, and it was Cadfael who on the morrow handed it to Hugh Beringar.
Give it to Aline yourself. But deal generously with the boy who fished it out of the river.
Is this justice? To force into the light the truth of one man's sins and cover the guilt of another?
Aline knows half the tale already. You might set her mind at peace with the rest. There's no need for others to know. Let them count Giles among the many who chose the wrong side and died for it. We deal with what is. Leave what might have been to eyes that can see it plain.
And none see plainer than yours. Yet I did think at first you mistook me for a villain.
I think we mistook each other.
I would know more of you, Cadfael. In this new town of mine, I shall need a good friend. And I could look for none better than a rare Benedictine.
Then in this ending, there is a beginning also. And that is as it should be.
One Corpse Too Many was based upon the novel by Ellis Peters. Screenplay by Russell Lewis, with Derek Jacobi as Brother Cadfael. A central television production for ITV, directed by Graham Theakston, produced by Stephen Smallwood, music by Colin Towns. Audio narration written by Michael Cameron, read by Stephen Flynn. One Corpse Too Many is released on audio tape by Acorn Media.